So I'm William Bird, I'm a GP, but also CEO of Intelligent Health. Well, I've been interested in how nature and health are connected, and actually fundamentally we are still very much hunter-gatherers, and therefore we're still very connected to nature, much more than we think so. And when you take people away from nature, or take nature away from people, their health deteriorates. So we can start to see stress levels go up, blood pressure goes up, all the impacts of lack of nature starts to kind of cause problems of our health, and therefore there's a very, very close connection. And it's this connection that we're trying to quantify and understand. Well, first of all, find the value and find the knowledge. So can we find all the evidence and pull it all together? And there's been reviews all around the world on what is the connection between nature and health. And pretty much all of them have shown, yes, there is a very, very strong connection. So once we've done that, you then go to the policy makers and say, well, can we convert that evidence into policy? That's where it gets a bit tricky. And there has been some progress in this country with the Department of Health and Department of Environment. But in the end, it's about delivering and what you actually deliver. And there are two ways of doing it. You can either bring nature to people, so that's planting trees and making sure that cities become much greener and therefore much more less hostile to the population, and therefore we know stress levels drop and there's more people outdoors, etc. Or you introduce people into nature, and that's through health walks, green gyms, more parks, and getting people out into parks. And obviously the thing is to do both. If we can get a city where nature is totally integral to people's lives without it having to go out of the city to find it, then health levels almost certainly will be improved, and there's evidence where tree planting has done that. Well, the Mayor of Chicago actually planted about 500,000 trees as a result of his own university doing some papers which showed that trees actually improve health and reduce stress, social cohesion, all the other good things. And that is being evaluated, and it's very hard obviously to disentangle, was it the trees or was it the health service doing something? But certainly that's an action where there has been more activity and more people are outdoors and there's more physical activity, whether it's all to do with the trees or not. But it was a major action for a mayor to do on evidence that's come through. And the work that we're doing is called Beat the Street, where we actually are making the whole town into a game by giving people smart cards and then putting smart card readers on lampposts and in parks, etc. And we get them just to go and join up as many as they can. That's leading people into parks for the very first time. Sometimes they live just literally 200 yards away and they've never been to that park. So we're getting people into the parks, along the canals, by the rivers for the very first time. And then, of course, they say, why can't we do this every weekend? We don't need a smart card to do it, we can actually get involved. And that evidence we're showing is showing the increase in physical activity, which is significant, which has big health benefits. I think those who are actually involved with perhaps looking at the natural environment and health, they are doing that. It's a big growing area. I saw someone from Exeter, the European Centre for Nature and Public Health, or whatever, I can't remember, is extremely advanced in looking at all those connections, and there are other universities now taking it forward. So don't be put off by the fact that there's a lack of money at the moment perhaps in this area, because it's going to grow. There's no doubt at all. So stick with it, I'd say. But I'd also like people to look at not just in neuroscience of how the brain works with nature, because there's a lot going on in that with PET scans and CT scans, but looking at the telomeres and the chromosomal element and the aging process of how nature can impact the aging process. That, I feel, is the absolute crux of where the research should be going for. It's nice, good science, pure science, it should be funded quite easily, but that combined with the people who are doing behaviour change, behind people doing the ecology and also the environmental side, you need these multidisciplinary teams now to be able to work together.